if I can't bribe or punish them, how do I possibly get my kids to do what it is that I want? We're going to answer that question. We're going to talk about that question. We're going to talk about consequences and how really we use consequences. Oh, give my child a consequence. It's really just a cover up for punishment. We're going to dive into all of that stuff and more in Chapter 4 of Let Consequences Do Their Job of Out of Control by Dr. Shefali Tsabary. Yo! So let's hit it. Let's get right into it. I threw that book even though I'm probably going to need it. And I'm going to take off these blue blockers because we're just going to roll right into it. Oh, look at this thing, eh? It's deadly. Cool. Stay tuned. It's coming up right now. Up and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Ethan. I am a little bit sunburnt obviously, but I'm a single dad to my son Lincoln Love. He's about 2.5 years old and as always have been for 2 years. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for being here and watching, and I ask that if anyone's new that they subscribe if they like the content, enjoy the style, enjoy my energy, enjoy just watching this video because it's freaking awesome. And we're gonna talk about this book because this book is honestly, it's phenomenal. Out of Control, Why Disciplining Your Child Doesn't Work and What Will. And this chapter was particularly helpful for me, and I wanted to share it, and I love sharing this stuff because it keeps me accountable to learning and to become a better parent and opening my mind to something different than what I'm currently doing, as well as this book is just like, it's come at a time when I need help. Like Lincoln was beginning to kind of hit and beginning to spit and beginning to throw all this stuff, and I didn't really know what to do. And I reverted to, there was a little bit of like, there's some flicking that I would do, just like I flicked him probably about 3 times. I flicked my son, and I felt bad every single time I flicked him. I would grab him really quickly and just hold him really tight, which I'd also feel bad because it was just anger. And I talked about it kind of before in the last video where it's like, all of those outbursts, whenever I punished or disciplined Lincoln, it was like me just throwing a tantrum. It was literally like my anger. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what to do. So I just did whatever I was normally tended to do, which I learned from my parents and I learned from my experience and learned from what I see and what I've seen. So it just resorted to that. So this book has opened my eyes to many different ways, and today in chapter 4 we're talking about one of them, which is let natural consequences do their job. And so her whole idea around this is that anytime we're punishing, or I guess you and I, we might create consequences, we say they're consequences, which are just punishments in disguise. Like if we're still taking away, if we're taking away phones, if we're taking away stuff, if we're grounding, if we're telling them they can't go somewhere, even though it's nothing related to like, oh, if you don't finish your homework, well, you're not gonna go play. And it's unrelated. Anytime we're doing something like that, we say it's a consequence, but it's really just a punishment in disguise. Like that's really all it is that we've become to shy away from using the word punishment and changed it to consequence to wipe our egos and make us feel a little bit better as parents. I do this myself. Oh, well, it's just a consequence. It's not like I'm punishing my child. It's not this. Well, hey, maybe sometimes they are. And her whole idea is behind let natural consequences do their job is this idea that every action has a reaction. This comes from physics. This is known in physics. This is a universal law of the universe that every action has a reaction. If I go to the store and I buy the last ketchup bottle, I don't know why this is coming to mind, but this is coming to mind. If I buy the last ketchup bottle and someone comes in there looking for the next ketchup bottle and they can't find the ketchup bottle, but they just wasted 3 minutes going to that store, finding it. Now they're upset. Now they're pissed. Now that man's like leaving the store like, oh, they didn't have my ketchup. They go leave, and then all of a sudden he's like, he's blinded by his anger, gets into an accident and dies. Let's just say that happens. Me buying that ketchup bottle caused in some way that thing to happen. So every action has a reaction. That's just the truth. You can look at anything. If I go and make this video, this is an action. Awesome. How it impacts your life is a reaction to it. And the time that I'm also taking, there is also a reaction in that. So every single thing that we do, there is a natural reaction to it. And so we can also begin to look at this as well. So we can look at an action of eating fast food. If I eat a lot of fast food, well, what's the reaction? Okay, the reaction is over time, I might get obesity. Over time, I might start to have heart problems. Over time, time, I might start to feel bad. So that's the reaction and the cause and effect. That's the effect of my action. That's her whole idea. And she says that any bad behavior, any behavior of any sort that we think we should discipline or punish, that we shouldn't do it. That we should let the natural consequence of that situation guide and teach your child. She describes it as your child is just learning how to be in the world. And the world is going to help direct your child to be a certain way. If your child goes to the playground and starts hitting every kid, well, no kid is going to want to play with your child. And so your child will see that. That will be the reaction. That will be the effect. Your child will see that no one wants to play with him. Well, why? Because he's hitting people, and he's going to learn from that, okay, maybe I don't hit people because it's not giving me what it is that I want. And same thing, she gives the example of schoolwork. So I think there was like a girl who wouldn't do her homework, and what her mom would normally do was she'd be like, okay, I'm going to take away your phone. Well, the phone has nothing to do with the homework, so the child is just left feeling resentment for the parent for taking away something that she loves. So, and then forcing her, and then we also as parents then go into like overprotection where we hire tutors, we hire people to help your child do this instead of letting the child feel their own consequence of their actions. So you let the child feel the grade that she got. Be there with the grade that she got. See that for herself. Support her. Love her in that. But let her feel that. And let the motivation from feeling failure drive her to feeling better. And I've seen this everywhere, all across the board. And this is something that I've even done with my son. And a recent example is at the skate park. So at the skate park, my son is a killer. Like, he kills and crushes the skate park. He just loves it. And one of the reasons why he's so confident moving around this entire thing and going everywhere with all the big kids is because I took a step back. And I was like, okay, I'm going to let the natural consequences unfold here instead of me helicopter parenting, saying that oh no, don't get in the way of this kid, don't get in the way of that kid, don't get in the way of this kid, oh, watch out for this kid, and always being up his ass. I took a step back and was like, hey, I'm just going to let him do him, and I'm going to let him learn what the rules of the skate park are. So he goes down this big ramp, and there's kids coming, and this crash. He crashed 4 times before he began to learn that other people will come, and he's got to be aware that other people are around him. But he learned it eventually, and that is, I believe, a natural consequence. He now self-regulated himself to be able to dodge people and move through people and go up here and know when someone's coming down and know when to look over the bowl to see if someone's there. All because I didn't step in and was like, oh no, Lincoln, don't do that, don't do that, don't do it. She gives the example, which I've also used in a previous video, of filling water. So oftentimes we try to protect our children. Oh, don't fill up the glass so full. Oh, don't do it. And we step in and we protect them from feeling the pain and from the world, from the universe, from society self-directing them. So he spills the water. Okay, whatever. He's got to clean it up. Awesome. He cleans it up. He learns not to spill it next time. Or maybe it takes him 5 times to learn that action or learn the correct way to do it. But he learned himself. And she says that this allows the child to be able to self-regulate and self-direct and learn and take what the world is giving them and move forward from that and not be a victim. All of that, she says that consequences and punishments, which a part of me believes and a part of me, I've coached and I've worked with young men, and I've seen that they hate them. They hate when their parents ground them. They hate when they take stuff away. And they just only build resentment towards their parents. And when that resentment's there, the parent and the child aren't connecting. And so there's withdrawal. Now the child isn't sharing as much. Now the child isn't talking as much. And I've experienced it myself. I didn't share anything with my parents because I felt so belittled and so disconnected from them. So she talks about always just letting natural consequences play out in their lives and letting us as parents step back and let go of control. Allow our kid to just wander and learn from the world and learn from other people and learn from ourselves as well. And she says, yes, step in when you need to, when you must step in. Step in when your child might die. Step in when there are hazards. Step in that sort of stuff. But they begin to let go of control. Like, it was hard for me to watch my son get in like 4 different accidents at the skate park. It was so hard. It was so hard letting him go and not me wanting to jump and be like, oh, watch out for this guy, watch out for that guy, watch out for this guy. Oh, don't get in their way, don't do it. I had to sit there and breathe through all that. Literally, I was trying to breathe. Okay. He's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay. And now he loves it. But if I stopped him from that, he might not have got to experience that. And he might not have got to experience the skate park and the wonderfulness that is the skate parks and all the big kids that are mentoring him, helping him, learning how to drop in and be free on a scooter. Like he's not there. So many parents come up to, they're like, what? He's only 2.5 and he's doing that? It's just like, yeah, because he's learning. He's self-directing on his own. He's learning from others. He's getting help. He's doing all this stuff. So this chapter was just incredibly profound. It's like, let natural consequences do their job in anything, everything and anything. They don't want to eat. Well, sorry, but you go to bed hungry. That's a natural consequence of you not wanting to eat. It's just the consequence. And they learn, okay, Wicked, you're going to stay up way past your bedtime. Well, you're still getting up in the morning. That means that you have to deal with the natural consequence of being tired. And soon over time, they're going to learn. Instead of us always trying to protect them, it's like they begin to self-regulate. And a part of me wishes that I got this when I was younger. Because there's a part of me now that waits for other people to tell me what to do in life. Oh, Ethan, what's the question? What do you want in life, Ethan? I have a hard time answering that question because I've been spoon-fed my whole life on this is the next step, then this is the next step. Then you go to grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then you go to college, there. You compete, you do these things to get there. It's just like, holy smokes. I can barely self-direct and self-regulate and right? So it's a learning journey, and that's what I'm learning now, is how to self-regulate and self-direct. Like, truly, that's what I'm learning now. So it's just a pretty profound chapter, and I'm still learning, obviously, like, what is a natural consequence of Lincoln not picking up his toys? Well, maybe he doesn't get to play. Like, if he leaves the balls on the floor, maybe he doesn't get to play with the balls for a day. Maybe he gets to clean them all up by himself. Maybe we leave them on the floor and it's a mess, and we try to play with other toys, but he realizes that he can't. He trips and falls, which he has done, and then he is also cleaned up afterwards because there was such a mess on the floor that we couldn't play. So I'm still navigating, learning, like, hey, what are the natural consequences of this? But anytime, she says, anytime that we have to give something, we are punishing or giving a consequence that is totally unrelated. She says that natural consequences unfold naturally. It's not something we give. It's not something we dish out. It's not something we hand out. It's something that happens because of that situation. So my son doesn't pick up his toys. That means there's toys all over the floor, and he trips, he breaks his ankle, he rolls his ankle, whatever. It's the natural consequence of him not picking up his toys. That is it. Boom. Dropping it. So, thank you so much for watching up this point. As always, subscribe to the channel. We're going to do this once a week. We're going to review the chapters, and this is just honestly for my own reflection. Like, I love learning this stuff. I love sharing about it. I love talking about it because it makes me more accountable to this work as well, which is beautiful. So, if you enjoyed it, I'd love to know what you thought in the comments down below. Remember to subscribe, and also feel free to like the video if you liked it, or give it a thumbs down, brother. If that's how you feel, thumbs down it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I got lots of energy right now, and I'm just super lit up and super stoked about everything here. So much love, peace, goodbye, blessings sent your way. Boop, boop.